Well, my favorite reading genre, what I choose to personally read, is always science fiction and fantasy. My goal is about 20 books a year in that genre, and this summer I started a new series written by a science fiction writing team, and the book was called The Mercy of Gods. Its premise is that an alien force has arrived to destroy the planet and cart off the best of the human race. It's an uplifting novel to read. The royalty, the scientists, the thinkers, they're all taken to the home planet of the alien species. In one powerful scene, two survivors find themselves in the throes of grief. They're remembering all that they have lost, their family, the planet, their friends. There's so much grief. One of the survivors is on the kitchen floor weeping when the other puts her arm around him. And she says, "It'll be all right." "No," he says, "it won't." "No," she says, "it won't. But we'll find a way to be all right with that." How do you know that it will be all right when you have come out of the depths of despair? How do you trust God again? Today's psalm really focuses on the unpleasant side of life, suffering and tragedy, shame and grief. If the stories of the Bible speak to us, then the Psalms speak for us. And today's psalm anchors us to what holds us when we're lost and we're scared and we're unable to trust God. This is the psalm we cling to when we are untethered from the world. Well, the Israelite people are finding themselves in the midst of the aftermath of their own alien invasion. A real quick history here. You have King David, and you then have his son, King Solomon, who takes over. King Solomon's son, Rehoboam, would not become king of all of Israel. There would be a split. The nation would be split into two. The Assyrian king, Tiglath-Pileser III, would come into power, would destroy all of Israel and haul them off, and would scatter the people all throughout the lands that they had conquered. Well, then the Babylonians came to power, and they took all the Israelites and carted them off to their capital, Babylonia. And then the Persians came to power, and King Cyrus released the Israelites to go back home. It would take the people 2 years to return home, and this psalm is written on that journey. It's not a pleasant time. They're coming across destroyed lands. It's full of the pain of exile, of everything that they leave behind. They don't know what's ahead. Out of the depths, I cry to you. On the road, I cry out your name. In the night, I wait for your return. In the hurt, I speak your name. In the pain, I need your redemption. The psalmist captures what it means to live in despair. Now, we are a people called to live in some of the tension of life, the good and the bad. And we need to acknowledge that there is things to rejoice about. There is goodness here. The beauty of the earth and the sun and nature around us. Snuggles with children and grandchildren. The power of music and song to inspire us and emotionally move us. The small blessings in our lives. Friends who rally around us when it's difficulty. A nice, juicy hamburger with lots of cheese. A KU basketball and football win on the same day. All is right with the world right now. But underneath life, there is an undercurrent of suffering. There's death. There's relationships that are lost. There are church connections that held importance for our lives that now we struggle to find our place again. There is unspeakable and unimaginable tragedies. There are moments when God feels distant and silent and maybe even angry. There are moments where the change just feels like it's too much to process or understand, let alone navigate. Good things happen. Bad things happen. It is what we do with the grief that matters. Babylonia is about 50 miles south of modern-day Baghdad, and it took the Israelites 2 years to get back to Jerusalem, back to a city that's destroyed, a temple that's gone, an altar of God that is missing. And it is out of that pain that this song is written. I cry to you, O God. I wait for you in the depths of the darkness to cease. And I know, O God, you will redeem me. I always want us to be a little careful when we proclaim that God is redeeming the tragedy of our lives. It is such an opportunity for unintentional theological harm. Because redemption doesn't mean that God is taking our pain all away like it never happened. Rather, it is that God is redeeming what we cannot. And God heals what we cannot. And God brings love when we can't find it in our experience. If we cannot let God heal our woundedness, then we will become bitter, cynical people. And I don't know about you, but I think the world has enough of that. I think we are called to a different path. Catholic theologian Richard Rohr says that we are to be stewards of our pain, not stewards of the earth alone and creation and resources, stewards of our pain, that we must deal with it lest it harm someone else and we do not find our way home again. First Company, the theater production here at First United Methodist, recently completed the children's play of The Velveteen Rabbit. Do you remember the story? I have not read it in probably a decade. The rabbit asks one day, "What is real?" while he and Skin Horse were lying on their side in the nursery, waiting for Nana to come tidy up. Does it mean having that buzz inside you or a stick-out handle?
Real isn't how you are made, said the Skin Horse. It's a thing that happens to you. When a child loves you for a long, long time, not just plays with you, but really loves you, then you become real.
Does it hurt? Asked the rabbit.
Sometimes, said the Skin Horse, for he was always truthful. When you are real, though, you don't mind being hurt.
Does it happen all at once, like being wound up, or bit by bit?
It doesn't happen all at once, said the Skin Horse. You become, and it takes a long time. That's why it doesn't happen often to people who break easily, or have sharp edges, or who have to be carefully kept. Generally, by the time you are real, most of your hair has been loved off, and your eyes drop out, and you get loose in the joints and very flabby and shabby. But these things don't matter at all, because once you are real, you can't be ugly, except to people who don't understand.
I suppose you are real, asked the rabbit, and then he wished he'd not said it, for he thought the Skin Horse may be sensitive. But Skin Horse only smiled.
Someone made me real, he said, That was a great many long years ago. But once you are real, you can't become unreal again. It lasts for always.
Love is who God is. All of us are made real before we are existed in this plane, and our responsibility is to then be connected to God in the depths. May you trust that God's love will go with you as deep as your depths go, and God will lead you home.